Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for property where we don't trust, we verify and operate with integrity and transparency. Today we got a lot to unpack about potential doom and gloom in the traditional banking financial sector, things shaking up with BRICS, silver short squeeze coming from Russia, China stockpiling gold, and of course the opportunities that exist for you in crypto. So stay tuned. All right, I am definitely loving the, what do you call this? Kind of the AI podcast idea that I've been utilizing with Notebook LM, because there's a lot to unpack here. So this all started with a clip from Alex Jones that was covering this FDIC quarterly banking report. And then that led me down the rabbit hole of looking at the stuff itself over on different websites about what Russia's doing. And then, of course, the short squeeze, or not short squeeze, but information about what investors such as Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett were selling off huge amounts of banking stocks. And then we got Russia and silver. So basically, I'm showing you all this to say that, I put all these together and going to be using the AI podcast kind of script to make it all make sense, because it's a lot to unpack and there's a lot of unknowns. But I think it's important to be looking at these global narratives, because this is exactly what shifts Bitcoin and financial stability, basically. So all these things happening on a global scale from all different areas, whenever they converge, that is what causes these opportunities in crypto. Be it an opportunity that, we get a blow off top and things just take off to the moon, or it just jumps off a cliff and you can actually, if you have money on the sidelines, you could be buying in. So I don't know what will happen with this, but it's interesting how it's all shaping up around the election. And right now, as of today, BRICS is underway. The BRICS summit meeting is underway. So it all get covered in this podcast. Just want to give you an overview. So here we go.
Okay, so we're diving into all this economic data, and I got to say that talk about bank collapses is everywhere these days, but the numbers you pulled together, those are really something. $85 billion pulled out in just 1 week. That's not just like people hitting the ATM for lunch money.
It really does make you wonder.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of folks losing faith in the system.
What's interesting is that we're seeing this unease in the U.S. banking system, but it's sort of mirroring these global trends we're seeing.
Okay, so you're talking like what's happening globally?
You've got Russia making some pretty strategic moves with silver, and then you've got China. They're quietly amassing all this gold. It's all starting to feel like we're on the verge of some major power shifts, like a shakeup of the entire financial order as we know it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely paying attention now.
Yeah.
So let's dig into those big names who are dumping bank stocks.
Yeah.
We're talking like Ray Dalio. He's the founder of Bridgewater, which is one of the biggest hedge funds out there.
Right.
And then Warren Buffett, he's like the Oracle of Omaha.
Yeah.
These guys are investing legends. What are they seeing that's making them head for the exits?
Well, both Dalio and Buffett, they've got this history of making these moves that kind of signal shifts in the market. Dalio has been warning about a debt crisis for years now.
Yeah.
So his recent actions are really making people think that he believes that that reckoning is, pretty close.
I see.
And then you have Buffett. He's known for this long-term value-focused approach.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't be selling off all those bank stocks unless he was seeing a serious threat to their long-term stability.
So what is the threat? I mean, your research mentions commercial real estate as like a major weak point. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, commercial real estate, that's a big one. It's kind of like a ticking time bomb for a lot of these banks.
Yeah.
I mean, interest rates are going up. People are working from home.
Yeah.
All these office buildings are empty. Their values are plummeting. Remember that thing in your research about the office building in Denver? Lost like half its value.
Oh, yeah, that one was scary.
Yeah, and that's not some isolated incident.
Right.
This is a widespread problem. It could honestly ripple through the entire financial system.
Yeah, it's easy to, I don't know, get lost in the abstract financial stuff.
Yeah.
But when you see a real example like that, it makes it all too real.
Exactly. And when all those real estate loans go bad, well, the banks are left holding the bag, right?
Uh-oh.
That's when we could see all these bank failures. Similar to what happened with Silicon Valley Bank, but like way bigger.
Yikes. Okay, so we've got shaky banks, investors running for cover. Where does all this Russia and silver stuff fit into all of this?
This is where things get interesting. Russia, they announced recently that they're going to bolster their silver reserves.
Yeah.
On the surface, it sounds like a pretty standard strategic move.
Right.
But there are analysts who think it's actually a calculated play against the Western financial system.
Wait, hold on. How can Russia, just buying silver, How can that be a threat to the West? Are we talking like some Cold War economic sabotage situation?
Not exactly sabotage, but it's more about maybe exploiting a weakness.
Okay.
The theory is that some of the major US banks, they've been heavily short selling silver for years now.
Oh, okay.
So they're basically betting that the price will keep dropping.
Okay, you lost me at short selling. Can you just, I don't know, break that down for us non-Wall Street types?
Oh, yeah, sure. So short selling is basically, it's a way to make money when an asset's price goes down.
Okay.
So imagine you borrowed a bar of silver from someone and you sold it right away for, say, $25 an ounce. You're betting that the price is going to drop so that you can buy it back later at a lower price, like maybe $20, and then you give it back to whoever you borrowed it from, so you get to pocket the $5 difference.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So where does Russia fit into all of this?
Well, if Russia starts buying up tons of physical silver, the price could actually start going up.
Oh.
And that puts all those banks who shorted silver in a really bad spot. They'd be forced to buy back the silver at a much higher price to cover their positions.
And that could lead to huge losses.
Yeah, potentially even collapse.
So Russia buying silver could like trigger this chain reaction.
Yeah, they call it a short squeeze.
Okay.
And it could force all these banks to scramble and maybe even collapse. And one of the banks that people are talking about the most, the one they think is most exposed, is Bank of America. Rumor is they're holding a short position of up to 1 billion ounces of silver.
Whoa, that's a lot of silver.
Yeah.
And remember how Warren Buffett was reducing his stake in Bank of America?
Right.
Maybe he knows something we don't about how vulnerable they are to all this.
It's definitely a possibility. And it brings us back to those big global shifts we were talking about earlier. Russia's move with the silver could be a sign that they're willing to challenge the US dollar and the Western financial system.
All right, I'm officially spooked. So we have failing banks, we've got a potential silver squeeze orchestrated by Russia, and we've got all these big name investors running for the hills. What else is in store for us?
Well, we haven't even touched on China and their massive gold accumulation yet.
Oh boy.
But I think that's a good place to pick up in part 2. Yeah, so China, they've been quietly amassing all this gold for years now. And the thing is, no one really knows how much they have.
So they're being all secretive about it.
Exactly. And that lack of transparency, well, it's fueling all sorts of speculation about what they're up to. Some analysts think they're preparing for a future where the US dollar isn't the top dog anymore.
So it's not just Russia shaking things up then, huh? China's playing their own game, stacking gold, while the West is busy betting against silver. It's like they're both setting the stage for this massive power shift.
Yeah, that's a perspective that's gaining a lot of traction these days, especially with this upcoming BRICS summit.
BRICS. Wait, remind me what that is again.
Oh, right. BRICS, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're all major emerging economies.
Right.
And they're holding a summit later this month, and there's all this buzz about them potentially creating their own currency system.
Their own currency, like completely separate from the dollar.
Yeah, and get this, they're talking about backing it with gold.
Whoa, a gold-backed currency? Is that even like a thing anymore? It feels like we're going back in time or something.
It's definitely a blast from the past. Basically, it means the currency's value is directly tied to a fixed amount of gold. It's a system a lot of countries used to use, but the US ditched it back in 71.
71, wow. So if BRICS actually creates this gold-backed currency, could it really, I don't know, like challenge the US dollar's dominance?
That's the million-dollar question, right? If you have all these powerful economies, and maybe even some others join in, and they start doing all their business in a currency that's backed by gold, well, it could definitely weaken the US dollar's grip on the global stage. Think about it. International trade, investments, everything happening outside the US dollar system.
Okay, my head's spinning a little bit. Let me make sure I've got this straight. We've got banks teetering on the edge. We've got Russia flexing their muscles with silver. We've got China sitting on a mountain of gold like a dragon hoarding treasure. And now BRICS is maybe about to create a whole new world order with this gold-backed currency. It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to digest, yeah. But there's one more piece of this puzzle we got to consider. Remember that YouTube video you sent about alt season?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So while all this craziness is happening in the traditional financial system, maybe crypto is the answer. Could it offer a safe haven, especially all those altcoins?
Well, the video argued that alt season, which is basically when all those cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin start to outperform the market, could be right around the corner. They even had some technical indicators pointing to like mid-December 2024 as a possible start date.
So everyone's freaking out about banks and silver, but maybe some savvy investors are quietly positioning themselves for huge gains in crypto. It almost sounds too good to be true.
Well, there's always risk with investing, especially with something as volatile as crypto.
Right.
But it's important to remember that crypto, by its very nature, it exists outside of the traditional financial system. So if that system is really on the verge of collapsing, like some of your sources suggest, then crypto could potentially be a way to protect at least some of your wealth.
Okay, I'm seeing a glimmer of hope here. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around all these global events and like what it means for me, for the average person just trying to, ride out this financial storm.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? What does it all mean for you, the listener? What steps can you actually take to protect yourself in a world where the old rules just don't seem to apply anymore?
All right, give it to us straight. What should we be doing? Should we be selling everything we own and buying Bitcoin?
I wouldn't recommend anything that drastic, but I do think it's a time for taking action, informed action. And I think that's a great place to start in part 3.
All right, so we've painted this, kind of bleak picture, right?
Yeah.
We've got banks on shaky ground, Russia's making power plays, China's quietly stacking all that gold. I mean, where does all that leave someone like me? Just a regular person trying to make sense of it all and, protect their financial future.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed, for sure.
Yeah.
But remember, knowledge is power.
Okay.
So step 1, stay informed, keep learning. Don't just rely on those mainstream media headlines. Dig a little deeper, explore some alternative viewpoints. And you gotta be willing to challenge your own assumptions.
So you're saying, we need to become our own financial detectives?
Kinda, yeah. The more you understand all the forces at play, the better equipped you'll be to make those informed decisions. And that brings us to step 2. You gotta consider all your options. The traditional advice, that whole diversify your portfolio thing, it still holds true.
Right.
But it might be time to think beyond just stocks and bonds.
So you're talking about alternative assets like precious metals, crypto, that sort of thing.
Exactly. We talked about the potential for a silver squeeze, right? And how it could impact the banking system. Some investors, they think owning physical silver could be a way to hedge against that risk.
Okay, and what about gold? I mean, China's been hoarding it. So does that mean we should be doing the same thing?
Well, gold has always been seen as this safe haven asset, especially in times of economic uncertainty. It's held its value for centuries, and a lot of people believe it could be a way to preserve your wealth if fiat currencies start to falter.
All right, so maybe precious metals are worth looking into. But we also talked about the potential upside of crypto, especially with that whole alt season theory.
Right, and crypto, even though it's volatile, it has this unique advantage. It exists completely outside of the traditional financial system. So if you're really convinced that the system's headed for a collapse, like some of your research suggests, then crypto could be a way to safeguard at least some of your wealth.
Okay, that makes sense. But there are so many different cryptocurrencies out there. Where do you even start? It's like a whole other world.
It is. And that's why research and due diligence are so important. Don't just jump into whatever coin is being hyped up at the moment. Really take some time to understand the technology, the people behind it, and what the potential use cases are.
So, like YOLOing it all into Dogecoin.
Definitely not. Remember, this isn't about getting rich quick. This is about protecting your financial future in times of uncertainty. And that takes careful planning and informed decision-making.
Okay, got it. So we've talked about staying informed, exploring different assets, doing our research. Is there one final piece of advice for navigating this potential financial, earthquake?
The most important thing is to avoid panicking. It's really easy to get caught up in the fear and make some impulsive decisions that you regret later. But you gotta remember, market fluctuations, they're normal. Even during a crisis, there are always opportunities out there. So stay calm, think strategically, and don't be afraid to get some advice from a trusted financial professional.
That's great advice. I know it's a lot to take in, but I think we've given our listeners a good framework for navigating these choppy financial waters.
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. The financial world is always changing, so stay curious, keep learning, and adapt.
Well said. It's been a fascinating deep dive. Thanks for helping us make sense of it all.
Happy to help.
And all our listeners out there, stay informed, stay curious, and as always, happy diving.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a great summary for all those different articles and videos. It's probably about, if you were to read and watch all that, about 3 hours worth of content, and you get it all in about 10 to 12 minutes. So not bad. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Smash that HBO special, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible. See ya. Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.